Hello and welcome to Let's Ride with Stonewolf. We are just leaving Ullapool on our one-day NC 500 run. We're going anti-clockwise, so we're quite well into it now. We got a little over 200 miles to go. I have just stopped for some food. It was much needed. We've also charged up to like 85%. We got a warm battery, that's not unexpected. Spent a little more time than we wanted to spend there, so 1840 something. Yeah, we're still an hour and a half behind. We had to wait for a charge, and I needed food, so it's the first time I've had to wait for a charge this trip. So, you know, to be honest, an hour and a half behind is about where we were when we stopped at the place that begins with S. Scurry. It's conveniently in my show notes. Apologies for the cough if you're just joining us. It's not related to this trip at all. Wow, I'm not warm. I had hoped that I would get all warmed up while I was there, but I couldn't really like sit inside anywhere because I am very wet. I'm extraordinarily wet. And I wasn't going to subject. I didn't like. This wasn't something that was suggested to me by staff. It was just me being like, look, I want to sit outside because I don't want to ruin your upholstery. Bloody cuff. Get on. Seriously. Stop. Flipping around in the bloody wind. Just snap up. There we go. Velcro's getting a bit old. And it's sodden, so like it's not really latching properly. Yeah, so I sat outside. It was all like covered up and stuff, which was very nice, but it still like wasn't very warm. The burger was deliciously warm, and they had my favorite burger topping on it, which is I could have it with a fried egg. Oh, I love having a fried egg in a burger. Why have we got 30? We have a temporary 30. I think they've been doing some roadworks on that bridge, so we're just like, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's like, it's not bad. Here we go. A little bit enthusiastic in the acceleration now. So now we're headed to Gerlach Harbour. Via Laide. And yeah, the burger was nice and warm. I got like a quarter of the way into my like pint of Diet Coke, and I was like, excuse me, do you have a coffee machine? So I could have a latte, because I just needed some warmth inside me. And also the caffeine is very helpful. I have been on the road for many hours. I think I actually left my hotel 14 hours ago. Yep, I left my hotel 14 hours ago. well, not as warm as I want it to be. I have all of this like wet stuff clung to me. I'm drying out a little bit, but it is giving me spurts of rain as well, so it's not as dry as it could be. And the inside of my suit is not going to dry out. Like my Under Armour is not going to dry out. Sorry. Still dealing with like the oh, is that it? No, it's not. There is a turnoff up here. Yeah, the names of those places were similar to the names of the places that we're going through, so I was like, no, that's not it. We're looking for Laide. Is it Laide? Could be Laide. Or Laide. Could be Laide. You never know, some of these pronunciations have a few different ways it could go. You kind of have to ask the locals. Really. I should be a bit better at it, but you know, Scots, Gaelic, and Irish Gaelic are kind of different, similar in many ways, but you know, subtly different, just from like the branching development paths. I'm sorry about all of these weird throat clearing noises that I'm making. I recently had a chest infection, only a week out from that, and not everything is fully recovered yet, including my voice. Yeah, I did immediately forget. Did it Seaforth? Something like that? Seaforth Inn? Something like that? It's just across from like the harbour. Yeah, it's a good place to stop. Very nice people. Yeah, we're getting on with it. That's the key. We're getting on with it. Gairloch Harbour is kind of my contingency stop. I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna check my charge status. I'm gonna plug in for a few minutes, and while I'm plugged in, I'm going to check the status of the next charger along, because its status is kind of ambiguous. And yeah, I want to just make sure no one's tagged in, and what I might do is I might do an 80% charge, or at least a charge until it slows down, because we are warming the old battery. There. This is annoyingly slow. What's up? Like, surely your car could do better than that. Or are you one of those, like, performance envelope has not changed since the 1950s people? I'm I'm just sticking behind them because I can see that my turn is coming up. Where was I? Yeah, I'll probably plug it in and let it go until like I see the charge rate dropping as it hits like the thermal threshold again, and I'll move on to the next one because I'm not entirely sure the next one's gonna work. And then I will oh my god. Then I will see what happens at an ad. If an ad is out, I can just take it easy to Ard thingy, whatever it's called. Ardnicalic? Ardnicalic, I think it is. It's written down here. Ardnasheen. Ardnasheen? Aknasheen. Wow. I'm good at this. In my defense, it's not something I have needed to know until much later from now. Yeah. I could just take it easy to Aknasheen, and then if Aknasheen is out, I'm going to be in trouble. I have had so much charging trouble on this trip, and it really annoys me, because there are so many chargers and they all suck. But look down there. Look at that. That's where we just came from. Zoom. Check that out. Beautiful. There you go. Look at it. Okay. This person is waving me off. Thank you. I think we go up and down a little bit. Forget if there is single track on this section. I think we're fine to Laide. Actually, Laide is kind of funny. It's kind of like those American roads where you have like, 100 miles to the next gas type signs. Laide has one of those signs where it's like, look, it's 45 miles until the next petrol station. Are you sure you want to continue? And I think it is all like regular road until Laide. I'm fine with, but I'm going to qualify that with my consumption's been a little harder than expected in general on this trip, and I think the reason for that is when I'm getting road like this, there's very few slowdowns. So normally on a trip like this, I'd get on a road like this, and every minute or two I would come up behind someone and it'd be slowed down for a bit, and then I'd overtake them, and then have some fun, and then another couple of minutes I'll come up behind someone and slow down, and there's a town or a village every 6 or 7 miles, and I'll slow down and go through it at 30. happen on these roads? Firstly, like, there's very little traffic. These roads are empty, and that is unexpected. I had expected these roads to be, like, full of tourists. And I think it's just the day. I think it's the day that's in it. It's been a pretty mucky day. Whereas yesterday was really nice, and tomorrow was due to be nice. So I think everyone's just been like, we're going to make good progress yesterday and tomorrow, and today we're going to the pub. So I'd expect these roads to be busy, and they're not. And also, I'd expect there to be more, like, little villages where you, like, slow down and stuff, and there haven't really been. So, like, when I'm getting good stretch like this, oh, this is about me. When I'm getting good stretch like this, it's just like being on a dual carriageway, and going hard. And when I get single track, I actually do pretty good, because it's fairly slow. But it does involve like a lot of speed up, slow down type stuff, where sure I'm using a lot of regen, but I'm also incurring like entropy losses, and that kind of like speed up, slow down is not as efficient as cruising. Especially when you have like, you get a lot of like meeting people, you got static starts. Static starts are not very efficient. Yeah, I think I am surprised, I should say, but I think it is logical. And then you got the crappy weather. There's nothing I can do with that. But yeah, so far today I've done 350-ish miles, a little over. Ostensibly there are 520 to do, but I think our actual trip meter might read a little more than that. There's a little bit of run around in Thurso. There's a little bit of run around in Ullapool. I think that does not add a lot to it. There's a little bit. And then there's just like this slight differentials between the real world and what Google says. You know, you get these things. There and then a run to the right and down, I guess. That's my read. Looks correct. Oh, look at that river. Oh, I bet there's a nice waterfall just over there. Yeah, I bet there is. We're not going to see it. I bet if you're coming up this way, you'd be able to see it. Yes, there is. We've just been doing a lot of uphill, so our gasometer is reading like really pessimistic. But now we get to do some downhill. So our gasometer is going to read pretty well because we're not going to use a huge amount of power going down the hill. We're not really regenning down the hill. we'd have to be going slower for that. But we're using very little power to maintain our speed, basically. Oh, this is a cool valley. I like how it's like gentle on one side and then really sharp on the other side. Look at that. Lush Valley. This is something I really like about Scotland. You come off like the Highland and you come into this lush valley, and you just get a lot less of that where I'm from, even though where I'm from is like very similar type of landscape. Just for some reason you don't get the same kind of drama. It would be nice if you had the lush valleys, but you kind of don't really. Look at the layers of rock up there. Yeah, look at that. Gas orbiter has become very optimistic. What? Kids, so they can close it off in the winter. That was definitely a pass. All back to some of the conversations from the other day. That was definitely a pass. There we go. Not really so sure of that like patch, the asphalt patchwork. Side. What town house in nestled in the forest? A lot of this would be like estates, like Scotland's land ownership is a whole like controversial thing. Scotland has very few landowners apparently. A lot of the land is gathered into like really big estates. That's probably one of the reasons why you get like these forested valleys, is because the estate owners have like deliberately done that. You can see the road. You probably can't, but I can see the road like way off in the distance, like heading up across the hill. Yeah, when I was in Scurry, these two lads parked up to use the public toilet where like the charger was, and we had like a whole chat, and they were like enthusiastic about the electric bike. This is a thing, by the way, it's a theme. Generally, when I meet people, they're pretty enthusiastic about electric bikes. It's weird. Like, commenters of the internet are like, electric bikes. And then you meet people out in the road and like, oh wow, electric bike, that's cool. I've never seen one of those before. It was very expensive. But just as I was leaving Ullapool, these two guys just like rocked up. Because I remember like after we had the conversation and they used the loo, they went off to like the shop in Scurry. I thought they were going the other way. Come to think of it, yeah, I thought they were going the other way. We are actually, I think, bollocks. We are, I think, actually going to make it back to Inverness tonight. This is amazing. See, now I'm positive. Once I get out on the road, like, the cold stops mattering because I'm not thinking about it. When I stop, I'm thinking about it. Maybe I'm actually being warmed up by the wind passing over me, I don't know. Certainly my suit is drying out a little bit, that's nice. God, I would love to open my vents. The only problem with opening my vents is then I would be cold. It's not warm enough to open the vents. And there's still that chance of rain. If it were sunny, I would totally open the vents, because then I would get air passing over the Under Armour and it would just unload all of the water that it's holding. Like, airing out the Under Armour would be amazing. The lady at the pub was like, oh, when you get back to Inverness, like, have a hot shower. I'm like, that sounds glorious. However, it's gonna be 1 in the morning when I get back to Inverness. I can't believe I actually, for once, left on time. I sat at the castle waiting for it to turn 5. For once, I actually departed on time. I just picked up a load of time on the road. And like, so little of it. Oh my god, like, the amount of time I've actually spent in the saddle, I have picked up so much, like, so much time. Like, I got into John O'Groats a half an hour early. I've consistently been an hour and a half late, even though I keep making up time on the road, because every charger I go to there's a problem. Because of like the weird charger problems, like I have battery heating when I'm not expecting that battery heating. Yeah, it's an issue. You guys have written slow on the road, but not actually posted like a low limit. I'm going to come up behind this guy, so no point in accelerating. them, but also the less power that you need to use. If you get a really heavy downhill, you can just like regain power all the way down. But you are going to get to the bottom very quickly. This is a pretty strong downhill. We're not quite regenning, we're just using very little power. But that in and of itself is good. Oh, we're getting some twisties! We're going to slow down for the twisties. There's some regen. And then we give it a tiny bit of power just to accelerate back up. It's acceptable. This is good. I feel good. You know? I feel good. It's like there are certainly points where it's like so far, and then yeah, once I'm in it. Once I'm in it, I'm good. This is a supremely dumb idea. I still hold that this is a supremely dumb idea, but it amazes me that I'm actually doing it. There was a point where I very nearly turned back, but I'm committed now. Now. I'm getting some spray from this person. Oh, look at this. Lush. It's pretty cool. The river. Oh, it's a good one. Now, it's nice that this guy is helping me to, you know, improve my range stats, but I want to get back to my hotel tonight. You know? If I just wanted to get extreme range, I could do this, you know, in as many days as I wanted to. But, that's not what I'm here for. I wonder how long I could stretch it. That's a bad idea. Do not think about that idea. Do not think about that idea. To be honest, I do not have the self-discipline to do that kind of run. I'll leave that for someone else. Now you might reasonably ask, could an Xperia do this better? And my answer would be yes. The reason why my answer would be yes is just like a very simple fact that I talked about in another episode, like on my way up here. Which is the Xperia has a fairing. It's got a nice big aero fairing, and like the core fundamentals of the Xperia are not particularly different to this bike. right? It doesn't have that much bigger of a battery. Like the 1 kilowatt hour doesn't make a huge difference. And although the motor is less powerful, that's not really... It's basically the same motor, right? It's just tuned different. And that tune is essentially just to give it a different riding characteristic. It doesn't particularly make it more efficient. But the thing that the Xperia does have is that big fairing. And what that big fairing does is, when you get to these faster bits, right, it reduces your draw, because essentially I'm holding the bike back, right? I've got just a massive air sail that the bike has to push through the air, and the Xperia's aero fairing significantly reduces that, so that, you know, in bits where you can push on, the Xperia gets superior range, right? In around town, it isn't really, because it doesn't matter at those speeds. In around like the single tracks that we were doing earlier, it's much of a muchness. But you know, on this road, you know, we can speed up to like 60 something. Absolutely. That is the advantage that the Xperia has over a bike like this. And what annoys me is I can't get a bike like this with the Xperia's fairing. There is the Ego, but the Ego is like, it's not really, it's not the same at all. Fundamentally the same bike, but the way that bike is laid out in its ergonomics and what the fairing is designed to do, very different. This bike probably couldn't be as aerodynamic as the Xperia, simply because the Xperia is able to shape its fairing to do things based on like how you're sitting in it. You sit very differently on this bike, but you could certainly get a significant improvement from this bike by including an aero fairing. This is Laide. I would like that bike. I would like this bike with an aero fairing. But here we are in Laide, and this is going to be the end of the episode. So, if you have anything to say, hit me up in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Check out some of my other videos. If you enjoy them, consider subscribing and, you know, hit that bell. And if you would like to reward me for entertaining you today, you can find the appropriate links in the description below. Bye bye.